What's the secret behind the most dominant teams in the 2026 World Cup cycle? It's not a single superstar, it's a shape. It's a tactical blueprint that is quietly taking over world football. Powerhouses are using it to control the game completely, to suffocate their opponents, and to create chances at will. It's called the Box Midfield, and it's arguably the most critical tactical trend heading into 2026. But what is it really? How does it give these elite teams such a massive advantage? And why are so many top managers convinced it's the future? Let's break down the most popular formation in modern football, what it is, why it works, which teams are using it to perfection, and most importantly, how it can be beaten. Section 1. Defining the box, midfield. So what exactly is a box midfield? The concept is simple, but its effect is profound. It's a structure that positions 4 midfielders in a rectangle when a team has the ball. This shape is made of 2 deeper midfielders, the double pivots, who sit just in front of the defense, and 2 more advanced midfielders, the number 10s, who position themselves in the space between the opponent's midfield and their defense. You have 2 players at the base of the box, running the show, circulating the ball, and shielding the defense. Then you have 2 players at the top of the box, whose job is to get into those dangerous pockets of space, create chances, and score goals. Together, these 4 players make a powerful central block that's incredibly difficult to deal with. Now, the trick is that very few teams line up in a static box from the first whistle. The box is created dynamically, through clever movements after they have the ball. For example, a team might look like they're in a standard 4-3-3, but they make the box when a fullback inverts, moving from the sideline into the center of the pitch. Or a center back steps up into midfield, leaving 3 defenders behind him. You might also see a 3-4-3, where the 2 wingers tuck inside to become those 2 advanced midfielders. The main idea is this: the box midfield isn't a starting formation, it's an in-possession structure. It's a fluid system designed to achieve one main goal: complete dominance of the center of the pitch. Formations like the 3-2-4-1 or a rotating 4-3-3 are just the starting points from which this powerful shape emerges. Section 2. The problem with traditional midfields. To really get why the box midfield is such a big deal, you first have to understand the problem it was built to solve.
I think Pep will be sitting there going, we're certainly back in the mix.
So if they can keep those players together and somehow, keep some momentum going and get close, they're going to be really, really dangerous towards the end, just through their experience.
And still have to adjust some things, few things, but hopefully it can happen.
Times are changing, football is changing, Pep Guardiola is adapting. This isn't a rebuild, it's a cold, calculated refresh.
You can always kind of tell when things are going well at Manchester City and when Pep Guardiola is particularly delighted, because it's written all over his face, and at the end of that game he was celebrating with everyone, cuddling everyone. It just seems to be like quite a good vibe with them at the moment.
Yeah, I think he knows his team's getting back to its best.
Okay, so football is that, so winning or losing, what's the next chapter, no? Next chapter of the season, nobody knows what's going to happen.
For years, the most common midfield formations featured 2 or 3 players. Think of the classic 4-4-2 with its flat 2-person midfield, the 4-2-3-1 with 2 deep midfielders and 1 creator, or the iconic 4-3-3 with a lone holding player and 2 number 8s. These systems were fine for a long time. They offered balance. But as football evolved and pressing became more organized and intense, the cracks in a 3-person midfield began to show. The core issue is a simple numerical problem. When a team with a 3-player midfield, like in a 4-3-3, tries to build from the back against 3 pressing forwards, the numbers are even. But modern pressing is more sophisticated. An attacking midfielder will often join the press, creating a 4 versus 3 overload. Suddenly, it becomes tough to play out from the back. The midfielders in that 3-person unit are man-marked or trapped in the shadow of the press, meaning the defenders have no safe passing options into the middle. The ball is forced wide to the fullbacks, who get pinned against the touchline, the easiest place on the field to trap a player. The result? Predictable, sideways passing, losing the ball in your own half, or just being forced to hoof it long and give up control. The problem doesn't stop there. A 3-person midfield also struggles to control the space between the opponent's defense and midfield. With only 1 or 2 attacking midfielders making runs, they get easily outnumbered. Your best creative players become isolated and can't get on the ball. The game receives stretched and disconnected. Top coaches needed a new solution. Section 3. The solution of central overload. And this is where the box midfield enters as the dominant, elegant solution. Its whole purpose is to solve that numbers problem by creating what coaches call a numerical advantage, or a central overload. Let's go back to the simple math. Most defensive systems, whether it's a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3, only have 2 or maybe 3 players defending the center of the pitch. By building a box with 4 of their own players, the attacking team immediately creates a 4 versus 3 or a 4 versus 2 superiority in the most critical part of the field. This overload changes everything. All of a sudden, there's always a free man. When the opposition tries to press, they simply don't have enough bodies to cover everyone. Say their 2 central midfielders push up to press the 2 deep players in the box. That automatically leaves the 2 advanced players free to receive the ball between the lines. If the defense tries to adjust by having a center back step up, it leaves a massive gap behind them for forwards to run into. If they drop a forward back to help, they lose their threat on the counter-attack. This constant presence of a free player makes the team on the ball incredibly resistant to the press. The players in the box can play quick, short passes, always with a safe option, and just walk the ball up the field. The shape itself creates natural passing angles that are a nightmare for defenders to cover. The 2 players at the base can calmly pass the ball back and forth, drawing the press onto them, which opens up space for the 2 players at the top to receive the ball facing forward, ready to attack. This is the how. It's like a tactical cheat code to guarantee you have more players where it matters most. By flooding the center, you can dominate the ball, break the press, and get your most dangerous players into positions to win the game. Section 4. Strengths and benefits in detail. Creating that central overload is the main idea, but the benefits are felt throughout the game. It all starts with total possession dominance. With a 4 versus 3 advantage in the middle, keeping the ball just becomes easier. The players in the box create a web of passing triangles, constantly moving and giving each other angles. This lets a team control the game's tempo, patiently circulating the ball, and wearing out an opponent who has to do all the chasing. The second enormous strength is its counter-pressing structure. The box isn't just for attacking, it's a brilliant defensive tool. When the ball is lost, the team already has 4 players right in the middle of the pitch, ready to instantly swarm the opponent and win it back. The 2 advanced players can immediately pressure the ball, while the 2 deep players act as a safety net, cutting off passing lanes. This makes it incredibly difficult for the other team to launch a counterattack because they are immediately smothered. Third, the box provides fantastic defensive solidity. Those 2 deep pivots are like a permanent shield for the defense. They are perfectly positioned to cut out passes and track runners. This gives the creative players freedom to attack, knowing there's a solid structure behind them. When a fullback inverts to join the box, they are already in a central position to defend a counter, instead of being caught way up the field by the sideline. Finally, the box midfield is designed to create attacking lanes. By pulling the opposition's defense narrow to deal with 4 central players, it opens up vast space on the wings. Wide players often find themselves in 1 versus 1 situations because the defense cannot afford to send extra help. Even more dangerous, the box creates natural passing lanes through the heart of the defense, allowing quick, line-breaking passes from deep players straight into attacking zones. Section 5. Case Studies. The Giants of the 2026 Cycle. The theory is excellent, but the real proof is on the pitch. Looking ahead to the 2026 World Cup, the world's leading teams are already showing how effective these principles can be. Take Spain. They often start from a classic 4-3-3, but it evolves into a fluid box. A holding midfielder like Rodri sits at the base, joined by another midfielder dropping deep or an inverting fullback. This structure frees their attacking midfielders, Pedri, Zubamendi, or Mikel Merino, to operate as 2 advanced number 10s. The resulting 4v3 in midfield allows Spain to dominate possession while isolating dangerous wingers like Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams in one-on-one situations. England has embraced a similar idea. They may line up in a 4-2-3-1, but the objective is the same. Declan Rice anchors the midfield, while a right back with the right profile can invert to support him as a deep playmaker. This solid base gives Jude Bellingham the freedom to push forward as an advanced 10, alongside another creator like Adam Wharton, balancing defensive stability with creativity. The Netherlands offers another compelling example. To establish their box, a centre-back can step into midfield next to a pivot like Frankie de Jong. This two-player base allows attackers such as Javi Simons or Tijani Reinders to operate higher up, giving the Dutch their preferred numerical advantage in central areas. Even Japan applies these principles. In possession, their 4-2-3-1 can morph into a 3-2-4-1. With Wataru Endo and Daichi Kamada controlling the base, creative players like Takafusa Kubo and Takumi Minamino can drift centrally to form the top of the box, overwhelming opponents through movement and rotations. These teams have all reached the same conclusion. In the modern game, the team that controls the center controls the match. Section 6. Weaknesses and how to counter them. For all its strengths, the box midfield isn't unbeatable. Its main weakness is space. Committing 4 players centrally can leave gaps on the flanks. If possession is lost, a quick switch of play can expose slower central players pulled wide, creating dangerous one-on-one situations. The system also places huge demands on individuals. The deep midfielders must be intelligent, technically secure under pressure, and physically capable of covering large areas. One poor touch or slow decision in these zones can lead directly to a goal. So how do you beat it? First, you must deny the central overload. You can't allow a comfortable 4v3. Compact defensive shapes, like a 4-4-2 or 5-4-1, compress the space between midfield and defense, squeezing the areas where advanced players want to receive. Second, wingers must defend intelligently. In a 4-4-2, they can tuck inside to help track the opposition's advanced tens, turning a 4 versus 3 into a more balanced battle and forcing play into wider, less dangerous zones. Finally, pressing has to be deliberate. Instead of chasing center backs, you set traps. Allow the pass into a deep midfielder, then collapse. A midfielder presses, the striker blocks the return pass, and the winger shuts off the wide outlet. Executed well, this forces mistakes and opens space for a quick counter. The box midfield is more than a trend, it's a tactical shift, shaping the road to the 2026 World Cup. It shows that controlling space can be just as important as individual talent. But what do you think? Is the box midfield the future, or is a new idea already emerging to challenge it? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy this kind of tactical breakdown, like the video and subscribe for more content that helps you see the game differently. The box midfield dominates modern football for one key reason. It creates a numerical overload in the most important area of the pitch. With 4 players forming a central rectangle, elite teams control possession, resist pressure, and create chances efficiently. 2 deep players provide stability, while 2 advanced playmakers operate in dangerous pockets. But it isn't flawless. It demands elite intelligence and can be exposed out wide by brave, organized opponents. Compact defensive blocks and smart pressing traps can disrupt its rhythm. Still, as the 2026 World Cup cycle continues, the teams that master the fluid principles of the box midfield are setting the standard. This tactical chessboard may well decide the next world champion.
Smart fans don't just watch, they analyze. Over 100,000 thinkers strong. Join us on the road to 250,000. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Subscribe and raise your football IQ.